Kia ora. We're on the railway reserve today. So back when we had a railway, this is where it ran. So I'm running along here today. I've got my wrist brace back on. It's a strain injury that's taking a while to heal up. I've re-aggravated it a bit, so I have had this wrist brace on for quite some time now. But we're now getting down to only needing it for work, cycling, and I can start taking it off for some runs. I did run without it the other day for my long run. But yeah, hopefully this week I will get discharged from hand therapy and just keep going to my exercises and hopefully be done with it soon. Crossing a road. We're looking for 8 to 10k this week, which now feels silly to say for a long run, but it's that runflation of like, once you start running, it feels like just a 10k. When you see, I guess on social media and Strava, generally people doing the massive, huge, big, long weekend long runs, and I guess ideally I would like to be able to stay half marathon ready all the time. I just don't know how realistic that is. Like, if you told me to run 15k today, I could do it, but it would be hard and not very sensible. So I guess trying to stay peak all the time isn't feasible. Once I get over that sort of 16k distance, I feel like I'm doing a real long run. But if you look at it from a non-running perspective, 8 to 10k is a hell of a long way. 5k really is a long distance. Yeah, I guess as you get into the echo chamber of other runners as well, sort of, it's a different context than talking about running with non-runners. So I know there's like a lot of talk about how social media has like caused all this runflation, but I also think any sport becomes an echo chamber when that's what you're amongst all the time, right? I don't care what gets posted to Strava, but I have heard people talking about like being like pushing themselves harder because they don't want like their Strava to look bad, which is an interesting concept. But thank you. Morning. But I suppose everyone runs for different reasons, right? I think there's been a larger conversation around like the runflation of social media and making it look like everyone's running marathons. And I'm not really interested at this stage in running marathons, but I do enjoy my half marathons. And to me it doesn't seem excessive to run several in a year, I guess, but I think I was looking at it in like, in 18 months I'd done 10 events, which didn't feel like a lot to me, but when you like word it out like that, it sounds like it's that necessary. But I do like to always have an event coming up, but it's also not uncommon for me to have like 3 events booked in, staggered up the way. Currently I have 2 events booked in, but one thing I did notice at the last half marathon I ran, which was only my second half marathon, and it was the first flat one where I was like thinking I could do a right time wise for me, and I noticed like I didn't get that race day excitement or the nerves or the like feeling like it was a big special day. You know, I missed that adrenaline at the start where everyone talks about going off too fast, and I feel like that wasn't really the case. And it was sort of, I was reflecting afterwards that it did feel a little bit sad. The event didn't feel super special. And I guess that got me thinking, like, am I doing too many events? I wonder if, like, have I started doing events too often to the point that they aren't, like, they're a checkpoint, but they're not like a big event to look forward to? I wonder, is it as I've become more comfortable and confident in myself as a runner that I don't care about trying to keep up or beat anyone? Or is it that I've done so many events in such a short space of time that they're no longer like a big special event? So I guess on the one hand, like, not having the nerves doesn't give you that adrenaline, but also does that just mean that, like, I'm doing more solid training and I'm actually going into things fully confident that I will complete it and that's not going to be a struggle bus the whole way through? I'm not sure about that, but I've got two events booked in for the rest of the year. The last one is in November, and then I've got nothing booked in after that, so the next one after that is in March, but my partner's running it, so that's going to be their first event. Doing the Hobbiton 11D1st, so 11.1k running through Hobbiton. I really wanted to do it as well, either that or the half, but childcare wise it wasn't really feasible for both of us to do it. We both tried to enter, they got in, so that was awesome. And then yeah, so that's a really cool run. It's like you run through the farm where Hobbiton is, and then you come down through into Hobbiton, and it's like an optional lake jump. You get like your race photo in front of the Hobbit holes. The last aid station is at the Green Dragon and you have a beer. So it's a really cool one. It's certainly not one people run for time. It's an experience one, so I think that's a really cool first event to get into. So yeah, after November, that's the next event locked in, and I'm not going to be running it. I'm going to be spectating. I don't really think there's anywhere to spectate. I think we just wait at the end, but yeah, it'll be cool to support someone else doing something when I'm not. That's sort of the plan. I've got nothing myself locked in. Maybe by November I will have locked the next thing in, but yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering now if I do need to start spacing things a bit further out. But then I don't know if that's then going to put lots of pressure on to feel like, well, I'm only doing 1 or 2 of these a year. Yeah, I don't know. Things to consider. But yeah, you do see a lot of people running marathons, or like, you know, running a marathon every month, or ridiculous stuff. There's a lady up north who is nearly at 1,000 consecutive ultra marathons, so she runs a 50k every day for the last forever. I think she's stopping at 1,000 or 900, and I think she's getting close. And I think people see that, but you don't realise, like, they didn't wake up and start running ultras. That's like a base of years and years of running, and then running consistently, and then running a lot. I don't think anyone just jumps into couch to 5k and then starts running ultras every single day. So I think there's also a lot of nuance to it, and probably a lot of what we see is people who have built to it over years or had that time to dedicate to recovery. I would hope. But yeah, the runflation, I guess was the point, is definitely hit when I see that I'm going to run 8 to 10 I'm also coming back from illness, so it also feels like 8 to 10 feels like a lot to me today. And I guess it's just sitting with that feeling bad. That's because it is a lot. Okay. I think that's all I've got to say for today anyway, so ka kite.